So President Trump tweeted this video of Chuck Schumer that you're about to watch here. And he tweeted it along with the words, "Chuck Schumer, I agree." So let's watch, and then I have a lot to say about this.
That illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress on dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now and on rationalizing our system of legal immigration. It's plain and simple and unavoidable. When we use phrases like undocumented workers, we convey a message to the American people that their government is not serious about combating illegal immigration, which the American people overwhelmingly oppose. If you don't think it's illegal, you're not going to say it. I think it is illegal and wrong, and we have to change it. Above all else, the American people want their government to be serious about protecting the public, enforcing the rule of law, and creating a rational system of legal immigration that will proactively fit our needs rather than reactively responding to future waves of illegal immigration. People who enter the United States without our permission are illegal aliens, and illegal aliens should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally.
Now, here's what I find really interesting about this. Donald Trump is tweeting this like, aha, got you. But there is no aha, got you. This is what they've been saying all along. And in fact, these kinds of deals are on the table. The Democrats are willing to make a deal as long as the Dreamers are protected, for example. But the Republicans keep asking for a pound of flesh on top of that. And that's where there's a deal that breaks down, because they don't... It's the Republicans who are obstinate and just incredibly extreme on this issue. So, listen, I think the Democrats need to be clear as to what their position is, and I think the left should be clear as to what our position is on the issue of the border. Now, this is a harder issue to dive into because I don't think there's universal agreement. There are issues where there is universal agreement, and there should be universal agreement. You know, like, for example, I think if you're actually on the left, you should agree to Medicare for all, and I don't find much room for any difference there. I think one side is right and one side is wrong of the factions on the left when it comes to that issue. And there are other issues like that too, living wage, for example. But I think on the border, there are a realm of legitimate opinions. So it's harder to nail down exactly what the movement argument should be. Now, having said that, my take on it is there are some things that are more sympathetic and empathetic and open-minded. So, for example, I would 100% make a deal to keep the Dreamers here and to protect them. I would 100% have a system set up to deal with cases of asylum. So if somebody is escaping a situation of, you know, like life-threatening situation and they are looking to come to this country, yeah, you should have a system set up so it's not like you're deporting them to certain death, because that's crazy to do that. And I think that people who are here and are part of this country and are working and all that stuff, there should 100% be a path to citizenship, and it should be reasonable. It shouldn't be some insane process that's impossible for them to get through. So those are the three prongs that I think are that the left should push for that make perfect sense. Now, on the other hand, I don't at all agree with open borders, but then again, I don't think many people on the left are actually for open borders, so it's almost like I'm fighting the straw man that the right created of the left. There's very few people who I think really support open borders. I'm not for open borders, and I think it is fair to say we should be in favor of deporting violent criminals, 100%, so you don't stop all deportations. You can deport violent criminals, and you can do border protection. There's nothing wrong with having a border, because I'm a fan of a welfare state, and in order to have a welfare state, you need to have borders. Because if you don't have borders and you have a welfare state where you're advertising, hey, everybody come here and get a piece of this welfare state, and there are no rules, you can just come in and just take it. Like, no, that's a terrible incentive. That's a poor system to set up, and that shouldn't need any more explaining. That's relatively obvious. So I think that should be our approach. But to be fair to Chuck Schumer, and I very rarely, if ever, agree with Chuck Schumer, this is an issue where I think he's been relatively consistent, and I think most Democrats are relatively consistent, where they kind of agree with the things I just laid out, And that's what they're asking for. And Trump is playing this clip like, aha, I got you. But there is no aha. They're still open and honest about everything they said there. And you're the one who's refusing to make a deal because you keep wanting more. You don't want a deal for the Dreamers. You don't want to have a reasonable asylum process. You don't want a path to citizenship. So this is an instance where the problem isn't the Democrats. It's not even the corporate Democrats. The problem is you, Trump, and the Republicans.